A warm welcome to everyone. Today's topic is therapies that initiate and support self-healing processes. Eastern medicine is based on the idea that our body, even compared by Ayurvedic medicine to a microcosm, this means that our body has innate intelligence and is constantly in a certain state of harmony, always striving to maintain that harmony. Even illness and its symptoms are seen as a process, firstly, as a call for help, and also, through these symptoms, the body tries to communicate with us and remove the obstacles that prevent us from achieving this very state of balance, a state of health. So, obstacles that prevent the self-healing process from being activated. So, in the past, when people went to such doctors, they were able to interpret, based on the symptoms, which organ was unable to help itself restore homeostasis, and their entire work focused on removing the obstacles that arose. For example, a patient comes in and says that they have some skin changes that they didn't have before, and now they're appearing on the face, hands, and various other places. For them, this was a sign that the liver, which is responsible for detoxification, and the intestines, which eliminate metabolic waste, were probably not excreting properly for some reason. And that's why the body starts to expel waste through the skin and the lymphatic system. So they conduct an interview to find out what's going on, whether the patient has regular bowel movements, whether they tend to be constipated, what their diet is like, whether they're overburdening the liver, and even whether they're stressing the liver with emotions. So for them, this was already a clue. In talking about all of this, first of all, they would give advice on what the patient was doing wrong, how it could be fixed, how to change the diet, how to help the intestines cleanse themselves, and how we could improve the liver's detoxification. And for example, when all of this was set in motion, the symptoms would disappear. So here we have an example that by removing the harm, by eliminating the dysfunction of certain organs, in this case the intestines and the liver, it actually triggers the process of self-cleansing and self-healing. In the case of Western medicine, for example, if a patient has some kind of skin changes and we go to a dermatologist, we usually get some ointments to apply so that the symptoms disappear, to alleviate those symptoms. But there is no understanding there. Why do these symptoms occur? It could be, for example, some kind of fungal changes or eczema or psoriasis and so on, but there is no explanation as to why this psoriasis is there. And how can we actually remove it from the root? And most of the therapies used in these Eastern systems are therapies that help the body to restore itself, that homeostasis. What are the therapies that can help? For example, acupressure of the feet, hands, or face. There are a lot of these receptors on our hands, feet, and face. And they can be imagined, so to speak, as the nerve endings of all the internal organs and the whole body, which are represented on the feet. There are certain maps where, for example, the head is represented on our feet, and the entire inner side, somewhere the internal body is represented by the sole of the foot, and the back, for example, by the top of the foot. And here, a person who, for example, massages your feet by touching and massaging is able to confirm where there are any deposits, where there are blockages, and can even tell you, for instance, that your liver is actually working well, or that you have deposits in your intestines, and by massaging, they can also help remove them. So what do? Here, by massaging the feet, we also receive information, and at the same time, during the therapy, we stimulate self-regulation and self-cleansing, and in this way, we activate the body's self-healing processes. Similarly, during acupuncture, we remove these blockages in various meridians. And it's the same with all kinds of Ayurvedic massages, like Abhyanga with Shirodhara, for example, which is pouring oil on the forehead. This also reduces the tension that accumulates, calms the nervous system, and soothes it. There are also other treatments, such as cleansing the eyes, ears, or for various types of joint pain. We also have a specialist in this type of therapy. These treatments reduce swelling and improve circulation. And all of this, once again, is aimed at allowing the body to self-regulate, removing what is harmful. And among these Western methods, osteopathy is really great as it takes a holistic view of the human body. For example, if there is tension somewhere, it looks at how we can release it, what is causing it, and whether the autonomic or central nervous system is functioning properly. So, with the help of craniosacral therapy, we can also relax the body in a very subtle and gentle way so that the entire nervous system functions better. It's a shame that these methods are not well known, unpopular, and not well understood by society. There is a narrow group of people who are more interested, who know about and use these methods. I believe that these methods should be very widespread, precisely to address the root cause. Western medicine simply does not deal with this. We go to a specialist, we do tests. If there is literally swelling or inflammation, if there is an inflammatory state, we take anti-inflammatories. If there is an infection, we take antibiotics. But it's worth remembering that these only and exclusively remove the symptoms. They do not address the causes, the reasons why the body is showing these symptoms, or what kind of help it needs to restore homeostasis, that natural order, and to maintain that order. So these methods provide temporary relief, but in the long run, they actually make it even harder to return to that natural state, making it very difficult for the processes, for self-regulating and self-healing processes to activate. So I encourage you to learn about these methods and experience how they work. And above all, these methods are also preventive. We don't have to wait until strong symptoms appear to use them. We can simply go to such specialists and have these sessions. Additionally, you can also receive information from your body about where these blockages and stagnations are and what we can do about them. So I encourage you in the future to take advantage of these methods, and here at our IMC Health Center, we actually have a lot of these methods that approach the human body in this way to help repair it.